What's up, guys? Welcome back. UFC is back this weekend with a fight night. Medic versus Rodriguez. We're going to break down this card fight by fight, starting with the prelims. We're going to end off at the main event. First up, we got Marina Spazic versus Stephanie Luciano. I'm going to butcher half the names on this card because they're Serbian, and I don't know how to pronounce those names. But yeah, we got Marina Spazic versus Stephanie Luciano. Marina Spazic, watched her tape, didn't look great. Kind of looked decent on the feet, decent pressure when you get her. Ground game is meh. Stephanie Luciano, great ground game, crafty. When she gets on top, she likes to go for finishes. When you have women's fights like this, when they're kind of semi, I know that they're both going to be in the UFC, but they're both semi low level. They're not super high level. They're not elite. You gotta side with the fighters who have either a wrestling background or a grappling foundation and who use it to their advantage in the fights, especially in women's fights or like flyweight fights where they don't have a lot of power, because that's going to be like the momentum shifts is when someone gets a takedown, and that looks like the most dominant portion of the fight. We're going to go Stephanie Luciano. Her ground game is just better. If she gets it there, she probably can get a finish. That's what she usually likes to do, or at least hold you down pretty good. So we're gonna go Stephanie Luciano. Truthfully, when you have these like low rank, the untested kind of people coming in the UFC, Marina, she could stuff the takedowns and win on the feet. But it's just hard to pick her when we don't really know yet. Only fought on the regional scene. Stephanie's been in the UFC for a couple fights now. We're gonna go Stephanie. I'm gonna go probably decision, maybe late finish. But yeah, we'll go Stephanie Luciano. And next up we have Jovan Leka versus Alexander Popik. This was hilarious to research. I watched Jovan Leka's tape. I was like, he looks alright. Alexander Popik doesn't really have to show me too much for me to pick him over Jovan Leka. I am not exaggerating when I say Alexander Popik's last opponent is the worst fighter of all time. Please do yourselves a favor. I think his name is like Thomas Narcoon or something like that. Don't know that guy. Don't know his background. Maybe it was an off night for him. He genuinely looked like dog shit. And Alexander Popik didn't even look great against him. Jovan Leka, huge heavyweight. I think he's 6'5", 265 at the limit. Not really a blob, not really a pudgy guy. I mean, he's kind of built like a fucking brick house, especially for heavyweight. Likes to wrestle a lot, has fast hands, has decent power. Alexander Popik loves to sit on the outside. I think I watched like 3 or 4 of his fights for some fucking reason. But Alexander Popik just sits on the outside, tries to pick his shots, kind of like Leon Edwards a little bit. Horrible stylistic matchup for him against Jovan Leka, who likes to pressure, get you against the fence, take you down, yada yada, pressure, finish you on the ground, finish you on top of ground and pound, stuff like that. But yeah, please go watch Alexander Popik's last fight. It's actually horrendous. I don't know how that guy is like. I think he was like 20-5 or something like 16-4 or something like that. I'm like, who the hell did he beat? Like I said, it could have been off night, but that's actually a hilarious watch. I'm going Jovan Leka, probably by finish. Another thing is, Popik is a light heavyweight going up to heavyweight, I believe, on semi-short notice. He's going to be outweighed by probably 40 solid pounds. Popik just fought too a couple months ago. Yeah, no. Jovan Leka, we're going Jovan Leka. And next up we got Nina Milosevic versus Haley Cowan. I've been watching this sport for, I think, about 15 years now. Something like that. Over the course of that time, I've only seen women get flatlined, I think, like 10 times. And Haley Cowan is one of them. 3 months ago, she just got flatlined really bad against Elise Pereira. Like I said, there have been women KOs, TKOs, finishes, stuff like that. That's not super uncommon. It is a little uncommon, but it's not super uncommon. But for a woman to get flatlined, like out cold, rare, and it's a bad look, especially Haley Cowan, who I don't even think has a win in the UFC. Nina Milosevic, decent power on the feet. Honestly, doesn't look super crispy, doesn't look super good on the feet, but she has a decent amount of power. Likes to pick power shots. I think I saw her last fight is what it was. In a decent ground game. The only thing I will say is I think she's going up a weight class here, and Haley Cowan is kind of like a solid bantamweight. She looks pretty. I mean, she's not super skinny. 5'8". You can see. She's shredded or whatever, but not like a skinny, lanky, super lanky bantamweight. She's pretty solid. So that's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of pause here. I don't think Haley Cowan technically is like way better or anything like that. She just got slept though. I don't know if she's UFC caliber. Honestly, I don't think so. This is probably going to be her last fight. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and find some sort of way she can squeak out a win. Because Nina Milosevic is really dominant in the grappling, but if Haley can stop it, something like that, We're going Nina Milosevic. Haley Cowan's this is going to be her last fight. I also don't like how she's coming back so fast after getting KO'd. I hate when fighters do that. There's another fighter on this card who just got slipped too like 3 months ago. We'll get to it later, which I also don't like. Your confidence is shot. Your chin is shot. I mean, you jumped from getting KO'd to right into training camp again, or no training camp, which is I think even worse. I hate it. Don't like it. We're going Nina Milosevic. That's probably why the odds are like this too. I bet if she didn't get slept, if she just got like decisioned, it'd be a lot closer. But that's just a hard look. And dang, I wish I had her age on here. I think she's like 34 too, maybe older. And for women's bantamweight, that's like getting up there a little bit. Yeah, we're going Nina Milosevic. Probably decision, to be honest. Next up, we got Mateusz Rebecki versus Kyle Prepolek. I'm going Mateusz Rebecki here, but I think that first round's going to look bad for him. Kyle Prepolek doesn't look good on the feet, but he lands his shots pretty effectively and with some power. Mateusz Rebecki, his skin is made of paper. When flies land on his face, he probably gets split open. I think Kyle loses here. He hasn't won. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I think he fought Benoit Saint-Denis, and then he fought Drew Dober like a year later. Drew Dober fight was a little weird. Sucks what happened. I think he got nutshotted, and then Drew Dober ran right after him and just put it on him. Kyle Prepolek doesn't love pressure, which is why I think Rebecki takes it, especially at the end of the first, second, third. But I think the first half of the first round, Prepolek's probably going to piece him up a little bit. Rebecki's defense isn't great. Again, along with the skin made of paper, going to get cut open. He's definitely getting cut open. He's definitely going to bleed in this fight. He looks like Merab and Nate Diaz after every fight. I hope, since I'm picking him, I hope he uses his takedowns, uses some fight IQ, doesn't just sit in front of Prepolek. Because like I said, Prepolek, if you watch him, doesn't look good on the feet, but he's pretty effective on the feet. There's like a vision test. Doesn't look great with the vision test, but he was beating the shit out of Drew Dober. And yeah, Drew Dober's kind of falling off a little bit, but still piecing him up pretty good. I think it was 1-1 going into the third, but Drew Dober's face was all fucked up. We're going Mateusz Rebecki, probably I'm going to say early round 3 maybe, after probably Prepolek takes the first. But Prepolek doesn't love pressure. Like I said, Drew Dober, right after the nut shot, just pressured him and just kind of got him out of there. Probably Kyle Prepolek's last fight in the UFC, 2-fight losing streak. Yeah, and I think this is his second stint in the UFC, and it's already been like 2 years and some change, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a little less, but we're going Mateusz Rebecki. Third round, late finish. Next up, we got Denis Buzukja versus Bogdan Grad. This fight, oh man, this is one of the harder ones to pick. I think they're both kind of mid. Denis Buzukja, this is more of like a striker versus wrestler. So kind of whoever you think is going to keep it in the realm is going to win. Bogdan Grad doesn't look good on the feet. Got chinned in his last fight. Bazookia looks alright on the feet. Looks better than Bogdangrad on the feet. What I think's gonna happen is Bogdangrad's probably gonna just get the takedown. He does. I like his takedowns. I like his fence work. Um, yeah, it's just hard for me to pick. I'm gonna go Bogdangrad just based on the wrestling. I think Dennis Bazooka is kind of mid. Honestly, I don't think his takedown defense is great either. I think Bogdangrad's probably gonna outwork him, out cardio him. I think if I'm not mistaken, Bogdangrad got Luke Riley down for that most of the first round, and then got chinned like immediately in the second round. We're going Bogdangrad via outworking decision for sure. I don't think both fighters are really any good. Yeah, we'll go Bogdangrad decision. Next up, we got Borislav Nikolic versus Mark Vologdan. This fight's going to be a banger. The odds are kind of crazy. Well, they're not that crazy. Borislav Nikolic, really, really good fighter. Fights like Robert Whittaker. The thing that scares me with Nikolic, though, is his defense. Keeps his hand, like I said, like Robert Whittaker, keeps his hands down. The issue is with middleweights versus bantamweights. If you fight like that at middleweight, you have a little more leeway with your hands being down in defense because the fighters up there are a little bit slower. The thing with bantamweight though, Nikolic lunges in, hands down, wide hooks. He's gonna get caught eventually. I don't know if this is the fight he's gonna get caught in though. Mark Vologdan is 5'3". I think Borislav is like 5'9", 5'8", I want to say. A little bit on he looks a little bit on the taller side. Honestly, I forget what it was. He could have been even taller. But Vologdan's really small. A little bit of cardio issues. Borislav Nikolic has a great heart. Decent chin. In his title fight, oh dang, I wish I remember the organization. Whatever, the one he was just recently fighting in. He was down like 3 rounds against this guy who was whooping his ass. That guy was really good. I want to see him in the UFC too, but yeah, down 3 rounds to that guy I think he got dropped like 3 times. The guy was putting on a Khabib fucking wrestling clinic on him. Yeah, dude was getting demolished. He came back and threw a check hook and got the guillotine, choked him unconscious. Really, really gutsy performance by him, which is why I think he takes the fight over Mark Vologdan. He'll probably get. I'm assuming he's gonna get rocked in this fight. Defense is very, very meh, but I also love his offense and his aggression. We're gonna go Borislav Nikolic. I wouldn't completely shock me though if Mark catches him. He's a big, powerful guy. Big, wide, big horizontally. He's 5'3", he's a midget, but yeah, he's pretty big vertically, horizontally. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he has the power to catch Nikolic and put him out. Also, another thing with Nikolic, takedown defense is awful. If this was almost any other fighter at bantamweight, because bantamweight's one of the deepest divisions in the UFC, if this was any other fighter than Vologdan, I'd probably just instantly pick the other guy. Bantamweight's way too deep, full of so many good fighters. Anyone with a good wrestling base background, yada yada, would probably easily beat Nikolic. His takedown defense is awful. He fights similar to another guy on this card too, who I'm also gonna get to, who also has really bad takedown defense. But for this fight, we're gonna go Borislav Nikolic. I think probably decision. Vologdan's pretty tough. If you've seen his Dana White Contender Series fight, you know what I'm talking about. They went to war in that fight. Vologdan slows down late. What I think is going to happen here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Nikolic gets caught and has to come back in rounds 2 and 3. But we're going to go Nikolic decision. Hopefully he keeps his hands up, but probably not. But it's going to be a really good fight, though. I mean, I'm excited for that fight. After doing the research, I'm excited for that fight. And next up, we got Oban Elliott versus Michael Oliveira. I know Oban Elliott, and I've seen his fights. Before I looked up this card, I had no idea who Michael Oliveira is. And I had no idea why the odds were this wide. Now I know why. Michael Oliveira is what Oban Elliott thinks he is. Uses his reach so well. And has disgusting power. Oban Elliott kind of disappointed me in his last couple fights. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. No, I am pretty sure he is. He got choked down in his last fight after getting dropped and rocked pretty bad. Michael Oliveira, a really, really good boxing. Keeps his opponents really far out with his reach. I mean, he literally is hitting people like at the very end of his punches. And even in close though, his pocket boxing is sick. His Dana White Contender Series fight was freaking insane. So now I know why the odds are this wide. The power difference is insane. I want to see if Oban has some fight IQ. I want to see him try to shoot a takedown and see what Michael Oliveira is all about on the ground. But we can't pick Oban. You cannot be picking Oban Elliott to win this fight. There's just no way. I mean, he could definitely win. I'm just saying there's no way you pick Oban over Michael just based on what we see. We're going Michael Oliveira by knockout. Round 1 knockout. Round 2 knockout. Like I said, if Oban Elliott wants to try to take him to the ground, I kind of want to see Michael Oliveira more on the ground. See what he's about. But on the feet, he's disgusting. Really, really good fighter. I love when fighters use their reach. He's 6'1". Huge reach advantage. I think he's going to keep him at the end of his punches. Even in the inside, I think he's going to piece him up. We're going Michael Oliveira by knockout. Again, another good fight, though. There's quite a few good fights on this card. Stand-up fights. But yeah. Next up, we got Ludovic Klein versus Tofik Musayev. Tofik Musayev. Alright, Ludovic Klein, I think his last fight was Mateusz Rebecki. Broke his leg in the 3rd round. And then ended up surviving that. Because I think Rebecki had the takedown and just laid on him for the last round. And Ludovic Klein took the first 2. Tofik Musayev. He fought Ignacio Bahamondes, I believe. Dropped the first round and then ended up getting takedowns in the 2nd and 3rd and winning or something like that, if I recall. I actually picked Tofik to win his last fight. I think he was like plus 400. I was like, I got it. There's no way. Ignacio Bahamondes' defense is awful. Ended up playing out completely different to what I thought, but Tofik, I think, ended up winning that. He did end up winning that fight, and I picked him. But we're not going to be picking him here. We're picking Ludovic Klein. This is going to be a stand-up fight. Tofik, really, really powerful, really explosive on the feet. Ludovic Klein is just so much cleaner, so much better. I think on the feet, just technically better. His kicks are disgusting. I think Ludovic Klein's a really, really good fighter. Yeah, Tofik is pretty good too, just not as clean on the feet. I think his wrestling's okay. I think he usually kind of surprises people with it because he's usually landing bombs and then he'll end up getting a takedown or 2. Don't believe that's going to work on Ludovic Klein. I think Ludovic Klein pieces him up on the feet. Probably a closest first round just because of Tofik's power, but he does tend to slow down after landing or swinging all those power shots. We're going to go Ludovic Klein by decision. Like I said, I think we're going to get a close first round on the feet, back and forth. Tofik probably lands a couple bombs. But I think Ludovic Klein's defense and his technique and his cleanness just keeps him in the fight. Ends up taking over late. And yeah, getting a decision, I think. So we're going to go Ludovic Klein on this one. Milos Janicic versus Noah Gugan. Okay. This is the fighter I was talking about earlier who I think's defense and takedown defense is awful. And Janicic. He just kind of... this is also going to be another stand-up fight, I believe. For as long as Noah wants it to be. Milos, I think he's fighting on Dirty Boxing. And his last fight was against Alex Cowboy Oliveira. If you remember him, he used to be in the UFC like 4 years back, 5 years back. I don't like Janicic's defense at all. Go watch his fights. Go check them out. He just kind of stands there. Doesn't really pressure. Doesn't really move backwards. Kind of just stands there. And looks super hittable. It doesn't even look like he's seeing some of the shots come his way. He's constantly like an inch away from getting slept. I'm looking at his record is like 19-3, and I think Noah's is 9-2, something like that. But I don't know how Milos hasn't been getting knocked out in every one of his fights. Super aggressive fighter, super jab heavy fighter, which I love. It's just his defense is so scary. Like I personally, other than this fight, I don't think I can actually pick him to win in the UFC against UFC caliber opponents. He might go out there and shock me. I don't think so though. Like I said, defense is horrendous. It's like he's not seeing any of the shots coming his way. Noah Gungan, pretty good fighter. I like his striking. A little bit less aggressive than Milos. Likes to stay on the outside sometimes. Has a decent takedown game, which I think might come in handy against Milos. I'm gonna be picking Milos here. Noah, I think his Bellator fight, which is a little bit older now, and I watched his most recent fight. In the Bellator fight, he kind of just quit, which I hate. Especially so early on. Like I said, he's only 9-2. I think I think it was like 4 years ago though. It's just that he like outright quit. Like the guy was piecing him up for a round or two, and he just was like, "Nah, I'm good." Especially a fighter like Milos, because Noah, I watched some of Noah's fights. The fighters he were fighting weren't that aggressive, weren't putting him on the back foot, weren't bullying him. When you get a fighter that's constantly on the regional scene, just outright bullying all of his opponents, fights one good opponent and then quits because he's getting pressured back, I don't love that. I think Milos will probably pressure him, put that jab in his face, that left hook in his face. That's what he loves to do, jabs, left hooks, jab. I think he won his fight freaking basically just doing that. Like 2-3 fights ago, Milos's. I don't like the fact that Noah doesn't like to be bullied. That scares me when he's fighting a marauder. I'm going to call him a marauder. And Milos, jab heavy, punch heavy. Defense is awful. Like I said again, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets caught here. If he doesn't get caught here, he's definitely gonna get caught later, especially in the lightweight division in the UFC. We're going to go Milos here. I'm going to say round 2 TKO. After blooding up Noah's face and all that stuff. I'm excited for this fight, though. This is going to be a really, really good fight. Like I said, if Noah might try to take it to the ground, that would be something I think he should do. Milos got taken down in his last fight. He's been taken down before. I think that might be a path to victory for Noah. But other than that, if he keeps on the feet, I think he's just going to get outworked and outdamaged. So we're going to go Milos here. Going to be a sweet fight, too. I'm glad I've been, getting more into researching these fights because it's making me more excited for these cards, to be honest. We got Vlasto Chepo versus Gilbert Urbina. I don't like this matchup or this matchmaking. Gilbert Urbina is coming up from welterweight to middleweight here to fight a humongous middleweight in Vlasto Chepo. Do yourselves a favor. Watch Chepo's last fight. Literally all go. No defense, all go. He will be getting slept eventually in the UFC. Just like Milos, he will eventually get caught bad in the UFC. But until then, dude, this guy is just all go. From the bell, he just swing until he gets a knockout. It's crazy to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. He's going to do it here and probably sleep Gilbert Urbina. I don't think Gilbert Urbina is very good. Likely not UFC caliber. I got Vlasto Chepo probably by round 1 knockout. Like I said, please go watch this fight. It only lasted 2 or 3 minutes. It's freaking insane. He's all go. This is like Tommy McMillan, except for just a lot of output, just straight bombs from Chepo. Chepo's gonna bomb on Urbina and just knock him out. I don't know why they made this matchup. Should have gave Chepo a real middleweight, but whatever. Urbina is gonna be the victim this weekend. We're going Chepo round 1 knockout. Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a really good fight for the round it lasts. Dusko Todorovic versus Robert Valentin. I don't know why this is so high up on the card. This fight is ass versus shit, bro. Dead. I'm being dead serious. Dusko Todorovic. I think he has the most. I looked at his win list. I was like, he has the most fraudulent win list I've ever seen. He has wins over Daquan Townsend from 2020, Maki Batolo, Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja or something like that, whatever that guy's nickname was. With that being said, though, we're going Dusko Todorovic. Again, this is kind of the same concept I was trying to explain earlier about the ground game. I think Dusko Todorovic is going to just outwork Robert Valentin, get him against the fence, take him down. I don't rate Robert Valentin at all. Susceptible to wrestling. And to Dusko Todorovic, if he wants to win this fight, if he wants to get a decent dub, not really. If he wants to get a win, though, get the damn takedown. Otherwise, Valentin is really going to put it on him on the feet. I think Valentin's decent on the feet. Way better than Dusko. I don't want to call Valentin good on the feet, though, but decent on the feet. Would piece up Dusko, I think. Dusko needs to get a takedown, outwork him, try to get a finish. Use that dominant pressure, man. Just get the wrestling. That's what I think is going to happen. We're going Dusko Todorovic probably by decision. Maybe submission. I don't see him. He could get a submission, but I'm just going to go decision here. Like I said, I don't know why this is so high up. These fighters are both just skating by in the UFC, barely not getting cut. Yeah, we're going Dusko Todorovic here by decision. Maybe submission, but I doubt it. Next up, we got Alexander Rakic versus Marcin Tybura. I think Marcin Tybura, I don't like watching Marcin Tybura fight. I think he's boring. I don't think he's very good. I watched Marcin Tybura's highlight reel. That shit was ass. I've seen him fight before, but I just watched his YouTube UFC highlight reel. I was like, this is awful. He had like one nice head kick. Other than that, it was all like pitter-pat TKOs with ground and pound. His ground and pound is trash. His power is trash for heavyweight. We're going Alexander Rakic. Alexander Rakic is on a 4-fight losing streak, which makes these odds really crazy to look at. Marcin Tybura is on a 2-fight losing streak, so not much better. But yeah, Alexander Rakic coming up from light heavyweight here to heavyweight. He was already a pretty big light heavyweight, so I don't think the weight is going to be too crazy. I mean, it's going to be big, but it's not going to be too crazy. Maybe like a 20-pound advantage for Tybura. Rakic is 6'4", but like I said, he's huge. He looks so much bigger than Azamat Murzakanov in their last fight. Yeah, I think that weight cut might have been damaging him for sure, because he got knocked out by a jab. If you recall, he got knocked out pretty bad by a jab. But the weight cut, no weight cut obviously for heavyweight. Marcin Tybura doesn't have much of a. I don't think he has much power, to be honest. If Alexander Rakic doesn't win this fight, he's done in the UFC, but he also needs to retire. This is like his last hurrah. If he doesn't win this fight, and honestly, he should finish Tybura. Like I said, Tybura I don't think is good. I don't think he's really ever been good. He also has a weird build, too. He's super top-heavy. Hopefully Rakic kicks his legs out, head kicks him. We're picking Rakic. Like I said, I think loser gets cut. Loser also should... loser should definitely retire. We're going Rakic here. Better kicks. Should be faster. Should have more power, which is weird, because Marcin Tybura is a heavyweight. But yeah, we're going to go Rakic here. Rakic looked good against Yuri until he wasn't. He looked good against Jan until he wasn't. If I recall, that was so long ago now. I recall him not looking too bad, though, before the knee injury. And then, obviously, Ankalaev and then Murzakanov, he got slipped. But he doesn't look too awful all around. The chin seems to have went at light heavyweight, though. Let's see if it's recovered something here. We're going Rakic by knockout or decision. One of the two. Should be a good fight, though, for as long as it lasts. It's going to be a stand-up fight, I think, unless Marcin wants to take it to the ground. But yeah, it should be a good fight. Next up, we got Jan Blachowicz versus Navajo Sterling. Give me this fight like 3 years ago, even. I would go Jan Blachowicz pretty easily. Jan Blachowicz coming off another injury. He's had a couple in the recent years. He's had some time off. I believe he was supposed to fight Bogdan from last week. I forget his last name. That fight was so ass. I forget his last name. Yeah, he's supposed to fight that guy. Guskov. Bogdan Guskov. He's supposed to fight Bogdan Guskov. Like I said, that fight was so ass. I forgot his name. Jan Blachowicz was supposed to fight him. Bogdan got pushed to last week. Now we got Navajo Sterling. I thought Bogdan would have probably smoked Jan here. It's hard when you're 43, light heavyweight, coming off a knee injury. He was already looking so bad, in my opinion. So bad in his last couple of fights. So slow. He was already slow even when he was champion. Like really, really slow. But he was just so technically proficient on the feet. Like he would just win. He would just win. He would just get him, man. He would just get him, you guys. But no, yeah, he was so technically proficient. He always looked pretty good, slow but good. But recently, man, he's like, oh my god, it's so bad. He's like underwater fighting these people, especially in the last fight, which I think was Guskov, and I was there live for that fight. I remember I was like, dude, cause I was in Vegas. I bet money on Jan. I was like, dude, this is gonna piss me off because he was fighting like such shit. Ended up getting a draw because Guskov is that trash. Navajo Sterling though, CKB fighter, great coaching, great team he works with. I don't think he is that good, but he is going to be Jan here. You don't come in the UFC at 43 fighting a new up and comer off a knee injury. He's gonna lose. He's probably gonna get outworked, outstruck. Hopefully he doesn't get knocked out. I'm a Jan Blachowicz fan. I hope he doesn't get like slept or something like that. He's credits Jan. He's probably gonna have the cardio advantage, might have the output advantage. I just think he's so slow. Like I don't see Navajo Sterling losing this fight. I think Navajo Sterling takes this by decision. Probably picks his shots. Might hurt Jan, unfortunately. Might piece him up a little bit. But Navajo's up and coming, young guy. Got a lot of momentum. He's undefeated. He's 10-0. Like I said, give me this fight 3 years ago. I'm picking Jan all day. But it's not. Jan's 43, slow, off an injury, different opponent. We're going Navajo Sterling by decision. Should be a good fight though on the feet. A lot of these fights should be pretty good and on the feet. Yeah, we're gonna go Navajo Sterling here, decision. And for the main event, we got Uros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez. Awful main event. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Daniel Rodriguez just got out of prison in Tijuana, and they throw him straight in the main event against Uros Medic. Don't care what the hell he was doing in prison, punching beds, weird training bullshit that they were showing. I feel bad for him that he got thrown in jail for weed. That sucks ass. Even before prison, though, Daniel Rodriguez didn't look good. I think he's on a 3-fight winning streak, though. Somehow, some way. But every time I watch a fight, I'm like, dude, he just doesn't look good. Even in the fight against Kevin Holland, he wasn't looking good. Uros Medic has shocked me. I think I've picked against him in like all of his fights because I know he's a bit of a glass cannon. But him sleeping Jeff Neal shut me up. I know Jeff Neal's not as good as he was when he fought Shavkat. Neither here nor there. I think Uros Medic takes Daniel Rodriguez out. You don't get to come out of literally out of prison. I think it was like almost a year. He was gone like 9 months or something like that. Come in a main event, 5 rounds in Serbia, in Belgrade, Belgrade Arena, whatever. Come in and beat this guy. Uros Medic has been, I think is he on a 3-fight KO streak? He might be. At the very least, I know he has 2. I think it's Gilbert Urbina, and obviously Jeff Neal. I forget who the one in the middle was though. Whatever. Yeah, I think Uros Medic knocks out Daniel Rodriguez. I see people talking about this. Hey, Daniel Rodriguez is coming out of prison. Uros Medic is a glass cannon. I don't care about none of that. I don't think Daniel Rodriguez really had the power to begin with to knock out Uros Medic. I think he's also 40 years old, or it might be like 39 or something like that. Uros Medic is looking pretty good. Like I said, a bit of a glass cannon. I don't think he's going to get very high in the rankings or ranked. Is he not even ranked right now? He's a main event? Okay. Cool. That's awesome. I don't know why I assumed because he's the main event of the evening, like he's ranked, but I guess he's not. Okay, he's probably going to get ranked maybe like 15, 13. I just don't think he's going to get very far. Glass cannon. But just right now, his power is just different. I don't know. He's coming in with a different level of aggression than he was when he first got to the UFC. I remember watching some of his fights and I was like, damn. just getting finished and getting beat up a little bit. I think the Jalen Turner fight. I think I was there for that Jalen Turner fight. And then even last year he got knocked out by Soriano, which is not a good look. Yeah, we're gonna go Medic here though. I think Daniel Rodriguez is just that diminished now. It was just weird to say because he's coming off a 3-fight win streak. But like I said, he was in prison. Now he's coming right out, and I don't think he looked great before. He will look even worse now. This isn't a movie. You're not going to prison, getting better, and coming out a better fighter, especially at 40. We're going Uros Medic by knockout. Hopefully we keep that same streak from last week. A good record here. Felt really good to get that many dubs. We went 11-1 last week. Yeah, we're going Uros Medic. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in after the fights. We're going to do a little breakdown again. We'll go over the fights, recap them, and stuff like that. So tune in for that. Subscribe, like, comment. Comment who you think is going to win. Comment if I said something wrong or if you think I got the wrong pick. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you.